these little things, but Shinji Manoa will be ripping around right now. Speaking of ripping around, we got Fiorella with, we're talking about the one and only Federico Sciarrifo going against Jack Shanahan. Shanahan knows these conditions. We always definitely toot that Irish horn, but Fiorella, this big old Ferrari, could definitely handle the wet as well. Jack Shanahan, he's surging forward, maybe just keep it consistent as opposed to surging that BMW tight and right. And we can see Federico Sciarrifo looks like he is very settled, comfortable in this Ferrari, pulling around the track. And that was probably, you know, Fetty's really good, solid run here. I think maybe he's like Federico Sciarrifo. Let's see how he manages, see how he handles, and see if what I said comes to fruition. Transitions into and across the nose of the Ferrari, and there we go, Jack Shanahan. This is what I expected, that 59, the BMW, great looking car. Nice little pocket rocket coming into that second outside zone, and look at that Federico Sciarrifo. That big old Ferrari making that BMW look like just that. Goes up, hits that K-rail, and you can see that K-rail jumps the car up, but he keeps on keeping on. In that last outside zone, Shanahan, I mean, absolutely, like I said, you know, these Irish drivers, they know how to drive in the wet. They know how to manage the car, and they know, you know, it's just a bit with that wheel speed still. All right. Moving on and back to the one more time battle of Federico Sciarrifo and Jack Shanahan. Here comes Federico Sciarrifo. And there is Shanahan, tip to tail. Yeah, the new tires, I mean, why not? So there's smoke, there's a little bit of steam, and there is definitely some debris in the windscreen. Now coming into that third outside zone, look at Fetty, you see minimal corrections going to that third outside zone. Very well calculated there. You can see the bright yellow gloves working his way on in into that last outside zone, and Shanahan tucking in. Yeah. Jacob, under the beanie, he is bald. Everybody just let it be told, under the beanie, he is bald. All right, here we go. Let's change the order here. Jack Shanahan out front, Federico Sciarrifo in the chase position. In that first outside zone, as I said, that's the Shanahan we know and love. And now Fetty, he gives it back. He twists the screws. They might be Italian, but yeah, they're screws nonetheless. It's a spicy meatball coming in sideways. Now Jack Shanahan in that third outside zone, navigating into the fourth. No one more times. They're going to force an opinion upon the judges and upon you. Here we go. Shanahan, Fetty. Man, dang. Like I said, problem comes along, you must fix it. Here we go. So Shanahan out front, talking about Jack and Burkett coming in. Look at the swing of, I feel like maybe the handbrake isn't fixed, and that's why he's throwing so much angle to slow down the car. Or, I mean, he is ripping right now. Jack Shanahan, smoke machine. Look at that wheel speed. He is jumping up there.
I'm not now coming in.
Rad Dan Burkett. Yeah, I think he might just be clutch kicking and just throwing so much angle at it to slow it down as opposed to. All right, here we go. And that is not Nick Novak nor Rudy Hansen. It is Dan Burkett and Jack Shanahan. And there it is, the Rad Industries Mark IV Super coming on in. Let's see how Shanahan from the rear handles it with no handbrake. Not getting very handsy, but he is getting that big angle. And look, we don't need no stinking handbrake. Look at this. So, but Dan Burkett, great angle from him, a good lead run. And Shanahan massages it on in. Big angle from Dan Burkett, bringing it on home. And a good effort by both drivers. Very short period of time. Loving Shanahan Burkett, who is going against Novak in the finals. Which one's it going to be? And we got a clear start. Shanahan, we got drier conditions, not absolutely 100% bone dry, but Shanahan rips in that first outside zone. Yo, look at Dan Burkett. Absolutely just flinging that thing to the side. This looks like a final in Saturday's main event. Shanahan places that car properly in outside zone 3. Burkett has to hold up. You saw him just hold composure there, and it ended up not working. He was kind of preloading, loading, and then unleashed, came unwound.
Steering with the right foot. All throttle.
So I brake with no bicycles. What's that? I can ride my right? Yeah. All right, here we go. So the great song. All right, Dan Burkett, but Shanahan now it looks like the regardless of the handbrake, he does not have the proximity. Dan Burkett in that second outside zone places the car properly. Shanahan now gains some ground. Burkett puts it into that outside zone 3. Shanahan bounces. He goes all over the place. But keep in mind, Burkett did have that mistake in that last outside zone. So, all right, well, there we are looking at Jonathan Castro and Jack Shanahan. Dominican Republic versus Ireland. Toyota versus BMW. Two very talented drivers. Jonathan Castro getting his first ever podium. And here we are into that first outside zone. as we now go into that second outside zone. Now into, you can see Shanahan tucking in to the side of the 86. Man, that BMW is small, but it makes that 86 look small as well. The Methyl Dom 86, that last outside zone, he slides on in, and Shanahan tucks in. Man, the chase run there by Shanahan.
Whereas Jack will fall back a little bit and then dive in. Connor, he's running bumpers every time.
All right, like I said, couldn't put my finger on it. It sounds like a Canadian finger. Here we go, Mr. Shanahan leading now, and Castro into the second outside zone. You can see Shanahan, good angle. Want to see that overhead view of placement of Castro's car. Looks like he's a little late to the party. Outside zone 3, now transition to outside zone 4. That's what we're talking about. So you saw that handbrake. See how he coasted in outside zone 4? They really want to see him light off into it, but that's that compromise. And the judge again taking a look at it, and okay, so here we go. As again, just want to make sure Jack Shanahan, Trenton Beecham, and here we go. Shanahan leading into that first outside zone. Trenton Beecham right there in the smoke. These guys entering in a second outside zone. Trent really applying the pressure. Like I said, when it comes together for him, he really shines. Jack using all of the outside zone 3. Trent, what the heck? He is absolutely, he's flirting with disaster there. That almost got very sketchy. He is, just slowly just gaining more and more ground, and he's proven not only his team, but himself on how talented of a driver is. So let's see it. Here we go. Trent Beecham's got the clean air. Jack Shanahan drops into formation. Again, that pink and white BMW. Trent Beecham into the second outside zone. You can see digging really deep. Just painting that outside line, going to outside zone 3. Minimal corrections from those front wheels. Transitioning through. There goes Trent. And look at that. Jack Shanahan tucked in. Oh, give a little smooch on the head and warm glass of milk. See, here we go. The lights extinguish and Adam LZ will lead. Jack Shanahan, I expect a big gangster entry, really risking it in that BMW in the chase position. Bang, right there. Look at that. Old school, new school, and we are in the true school. Into that second outside zone. Look at that big angle there from Adam LZ. Jack Shanahan, good proximity. Coming now in that third outside zone. There he is. Now he's lunging forward. Lets him pass on by an outside zone 4. I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what I expected. Make some noise for that side-by-side instant replay, just to refresh both us and the judge's memory. Here we go, Jack Shanahan. Initiating in that first outside zone, Adam LZ drops into formation. Adam LZ was talking about not getting ice, but looks like he is cool as a cucumber. In that second outside zone, whatever Jack does, Adam LZ twists the screws and gives it back. Third outside zone. Now, how are they going to handle this last and final outside zone 4? Contact by LZ and pushing Jack Shanahan out of the way. The lights are on. They are Type S lights here in the final 4. Dylan the Dozer Hughes will lead. Jack Shanahan giving chase. An American versus an Irish. Here we go in that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes, good and settled. Shanahan lurking back in the shadows. Comes up a bit short, but great proximity. There is that. Let's see him allow that transition from 3 to 4. Boom, right across the nose of the BMW. In outside zone 4 goes Dylan Hughes. I'm telling you, as Dylan progresses,
they're trying to do everything to shake off Dylan the Dozer Hughes. Oh, look at that to start.
Yeah, here we go. Jack Shanahan firing off. Sans that front bumper. Jack Shanahan, good angle, but Dylan Hughes in the chase position. This is what I was talking about. The victory is really going to be decided in that chase position, and Dylan Hughes gets into formation. Good proximity. Is he mimicking it? I feel like we're going to get side by side, because look at that. Dylan Hughes bites off a little bit more than he could chew. And they both cross the finish line. So don't think James in the final. Dylan Hughes, Jack Shanahan at pace. Let's see these BMWs initiate into that first outside zone. There goes Dylan Hughes. Shanahan tucking in. Really nothing to lose. Going for that rookie of the year. Shanahan brings in a second outside zone. Great proximity from Shanahan. Look at that. Even more angle than Dylan, it seemed like. Coming out last outside zone, that 4 tucks it on in. Jack Shanahan comes up a bit short. Here tonight, it is James Dean versus one of these guys. Jack Shanahan out front. He's going to need to put down a heater of a run into that first outside zone. Flirts with the edge of the track. Dylan Hughes chasing him down. Let's see how he manages in the second outside zone. Doesn't have the same degree of angle. Kind of give himself a little bit of room here. Let's see how it transitions in. And Shanahan goes in. Some wavering there by Dylan Hughes. Is that enough? He did eventually get to the outside zone 4. So 2 very different approaches from outside zone 3, transitioning into 4. Jack came up short with drifting. So history is about to be made. Will James Dean surrender? No, he will not. Will he potentially make a mistake? He could. Can Jack Shanahan rise to the occasion on his FD Pro Rookie Year as we are about to enter the finals of round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. James the Machine Dean will lead, again, a 4-time champion, defending champion in that Pennzoil Ford Mustang. Here comes Jack Shanahan in tow in that BMW. James Dean across the nose of Shanahan. Shanahan drops back, slides back. Great angle from James Dean. Again, no tomfoolery, but Jack Shanahan dives in the inside. That is not where you want to be. Looks like he is buffering here in this situation. James Dean keeps pace. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Goes to outside zone 4. Textbook once again. Hence the name The Machine. He's going to try to force an error. James Dean. The finals are here. We know that an Irishman is going to win. Is it going to be Jack Shanahan on his rookie year getting a victory? Or is James The Machine Dean going to live up to his name once again and assume the tie for the points lead after round 5? Going to outside zone 3. Jack Shanahan puts in the right place. James Dean tucks in nicely. James Dean applying the pressure. Looks like, again, he's not going to make a mistake. It looks like James Dean will be earning that victory after Jack Shanahan makes those mistakes.